Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. It is almost the weekend, and we have started our show today at Tau Game Lodge over in Madikwe with some zebra, wildebeest, waterbuck, and lots of birds, which I'm delighted about. So my name is Kerry Dupree, and I will be with you today live at the Waterhole. On our MC team here in Johannesburg, we have Mika, and on tech we have Modulefa. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive experience. You can watch us on our app, and if you're watching this on our website, you can register to ask your questions. You can also use the QR code on screen now to send through those questions and comments. There will also be a WhatsApp number on screen that you can also send those comments and questions to. I would love to know what everyone is drinking this morning. What snacks do you have? I have just drunk a salted caramel cappuccino, and I had some Future Life as a bit of a snack. I am in birding mode today, so we are going to be doing some birding today, which I'm very excited about. Yes, it's always lovely to appreciate the animals, but I'm very excited to be doing some birding. So I've got my list ready here, so we're going to start our birding day. So we seem to have some common moorhens. You can hear them vocalizing as well. I'd like to find some little black crakes here at Tau. We haven't seen black crakes for quite some time, but there's two little common moorhens there. We had a spoonbill earlier in the week, so if we could find that spoonbill, that would be epic. And a little bit of news from this pan here at Tau, we had some crocodiles also mating earlier in the week. So I guess love really is in the air. Oh, we also have some kudu that have joined us. I can hear some common waxbills have also just flown past the screen here. Could have been some firefinches as well, but I'm not too sure, but definitely saw some little waxbills or little blue waxbills. Oh, and some Egyptian geese. So we have some comments coming through. Thank you for joining us, Catherine. I will send you some virtual sun. We are having a nice sunny day in Johannesburg today. It's 16 degrees at the moment. What bird do we have here? Ooh, a teal. Looks like this could be a red-billed teal. Snuggling himself very warmly underneath his wings there. So we've got a lovely little teal. Love those red bills. So Catherine, we will send you some sunshine. Apparently, yeah, we've been having some very cold weather in Johannesburg, Catherine. It has been very chilly, icy mornings, frost everywhere. I thought there might be some snow close by, maybe in Clarence this weekend, but unfortunately it's not quite cold enough for snow, but it is rather cold in Johannesburg. So a Fuzzy Dunlop, happy Feathered Friday. Yes, Fuzzy Dunlop, we are planning to have a very good birding day today. Oh, some more birds here. What have we got? So it looks like we might have some cattle egrets. Oh, and our spoonbills. So we've got two spoonbills, and looks like this is a great white egret, if I'm not mistaken. Please, folks, my birds are a little bit rusty, so if I have made any mistakes, please feel free to send through any of those bird names. So I can see two spoonbills and a great white egret. How exciting. We are starting with our birding day to quite a good start already. Some more comments. So Welma, will a bird's name get common if it is seen often in an area? So Welma, yes, we do have a lot of birds that their name might have common in it somewhere, and again that'll be normally a common resident bird. And I think we might have a striated heron or a night heron just off to the right of the screen in between those crocodiles. So yes, Valma, we do have a lot of common birds so these birds are normally residents, so whatever residential birds are seen quite often, they'll then have the name common. So, there we go. Here's our common moorhens. These moorhens, as their name implies, are very common. They do occur in waterlogged areas. They do need to have quite thick reeded vegetation, and that's because that's the habitat where they are most successful in their hunting. So they normally occur in pairs, but here at Tau you can see 5, 6 to 8. I think I've seen 8 all in at this one pan, so they are very common within this region. Deb D, yes, I'm also looking forward to doing some birding. So Deb D is coming to us from East Central US. I hope you're having some lovely weather in the US, Deb D. Yeah, I'm very excited about being in birding mode today. I feel like it's Friday. I actually, was so excited for the weekend. When you're just dying to jump into the weekend already. I thought it was already Saturday. So what is this bird here? So I thought it was a night heron. Oh, it could actually be. What heron is this? I thought it was a striated heron, but let's have a look. He looks like a juvenile heron of some sort. What is this unusual heron? It could be a juvenile black-crowned heron. I'm just checking the distribution here. But yeah, definitely not a green-backed heron. It's quite unusual colors here. Doesn't look too well, I must say, this little heron. Definitely a juvenile of some sort. So if any of our viewers have any suggestions on which heron this was, at first I thought it could be a striated heron, but now it could be a black-crowned night heron, which we have seen some black-crowned night herons here before, as well as the striated heron or a green-backed heron. So it could be either of those two herons, but it's a juvenile and it doesn't look too well. Maybe he had a big party last night and he's not looking too fresh this morning. So Mr. Elemental has sent through a comment. Happy horse's birthday from Perth. Whose horse's birthday is today, Mr. Elemental? So Mr. Elemental is from Perth, Western Australia. Pink waving, and I have too many coffees today. Yes, I feel your pain, Mr. Elemental. I've had to slow down on the coffees for sure with this cold weather we've been having in Joburg. It's been quite miserable this week. Our temperatures have been averaging 4 or 5 degrees, even down to 3 degrees in the early mornings and evenings. And if we're lucky to get to 16 or 17 degrees, that's a lot.
This unfolds in front of you.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Eating a yellow-billed stork before. Again, crocodiles are opportunistic hunters, so if they're hungry and have an opportunity at a free meal, they'll definitely take it. I'm sorry folks, I'm just really enjoying watching this little common moorhen chick. Isn't he adorable? Just giving himself a little bit of a clean. What a delightful little bird. Greetings from Joanne Mello. Good Friday. Thank you for joining us here, Joanne. Penelope Kenyon is sending her greetings. Hello, everyone from Penelope Kenyon. We are definitely enjoying these wonderful sightings today live at the waterhole. I don't know, I just woke up today and I was really in a birding mode. I've been watching some birds feeding on some fruit just outside my house here. It's just been great. Alrighty folks, well I'd hate to leave our little common moorhen chick, but why don't we head across to one of our other locations and see what else is waiting for us out there. So this is a new pan for me. I don't think I recall ever being here before. This is Roy's Dam in the Sabi Sands. And we have a crocodile. It looks like it's sunning itself on a log. I wouldn't say this is a fully grown crocodile. That's probably at least 4 to 6 years of age. Definitely got quite some growing to do, this crocodile, but at this size that he is currently at, the kind of food he would be eating, we spoke earlier about how crocodiles are opportunistic hunters and they'll definitely go for any birds that are close to the water if they have a chance. I know if weavers nest, often weaver colonies might nest over the water, which protects their nests, yes, from monitor lizards and snakes, but when the chicks fall into the water, these crocodiles sometimes come and clean up any of those little chicks that fall down into the water. So I've definitely seen that before. These crocodiles are such ancient creatures, over 200 million years old, and it's incredible how they have barely changed over the ages. They're like modern day dinosaurs, so well adapted to living in different environments. So they are ectothermic crocodiles, meaning they're cold-blooded and they rely on external heating sources. So unlike humans, unlike us that can warm ourselves up or we can sweat to cool ourselves down, crocodiles need to absorb those sunshine rays and get some vitamin D in order to warm their bodies up. So they are ambush predators, so they'll lie quietly in wait under the water, holding their breath for over an hour apparently when resting. And then they launch themselves out of the water using that very powerful tail of theirs. Have a look at this thick tail of this crocodile. He looks like he's having a rather lazy Friday, this crocodile. So it's lovely when you're sitting at a height like this, taking photos and really getting into photography. I love taking pictures of butterflies on crocodiles' eyes. So often flies and butterflies will come in and try to get some moisture from the eyes of the crocodiles. And yeah, it makes for a very pretty photo. Wow, you can barely see that crocodile if you didn't know he was there. Very secretively lying on a wooden stump. Just having a scan, to see if we can find any more birds. I'm really on a birding mission today. So we've got 8 birds today on our list. For our heron, I think we're going to go for the black-crowned night heron, a juvenile black-crowned night heron that we saw over at Tau. We have seen some night herons there before, so yeah, I think we will stick with that one. So we're sitting on 8 birds that we have seen today. Let's see what other birds we could find. I would suspect this is a great place for some more water birds, maybe some little egrets, maybe some hornbills, if we're lucky some starlings. So we've got a quick comment coming through here from Limbury. Apparently they moved this camera to the other side of the dam. I think the elephants might have knocked this camera, that's why it looks like it's in a new location. So this is a comment coming from one of our Zoomies. Alrighty folks, let's head over to Oldonyo and see what birds we can find over in Kenya. Right, so as usual, there were some birds at this waterhole, and as we came here, they disappeared. But maybe if we have a bit of patience, some more birds will come down, some birds that we can expect to see here at Oldonyo. I'm dying to see some more of our wider species. We had some really cool wider sightings a few months ago here, but you often get a lot of dove species, ring-necked dove or cape turtle doves. Often see those emerald spotted doves. I love seeing the wattled starlings. Oh, have we got a little wagtail? Looks like we've got a pied wagtail here. A little residential wagtail. You often see him or hear him. If you don't see him at this waterhole, you often hear him. When the elephants all come in, it's a bit difficult for these little birds and little critters to get a chance to drink at the waterhole. We'll have a bit of a quiet moment, see if we can hear the vocalizations of this little wagtail. Isn't that a lovely sound? It's a lovely little melody. I think in the distance I can also hear the white-bellied go-away bird calling. Play the vocalization for you here of the white-bellied go-away bird that's also calling in the distance. So we're doing our bird list today, not just on sight, but also on sound. So we have a question from Rosalind. Rosalind is asking, how many wider species are there? Oh, Rosalind, there are many wider species that you get in southern Africa. I know of at least 4 or 5, but in this location, the 2 widers we are looking for are the straw-tailed wider, and the other one is... Let me just check in my app here. So in this location we get the straw-tailed wider and the steel blue wider. 2 species that we actually saw together on one day live at the waterhole. Very exciting. And we've got some zebra joining us. Hello, zebies. On the zebra we would be hoping we could find maybe some oxpeckers if we're lucky. Looks like there's one very big pregnant female zebra at the back there. So talking about zebra, I was privileged to be on the Wild Moments show yesterday with Kelly, and we had a zebra that had very swollen back legs. It did not look like it was in very good condition. So we've had some vets having a look at the injuries of these zebra. So just, I don't know what it was. It was just very swollen back legs, but yet it could still walk in a good manner. So we were wondering what happened to this zebra. So I've got some comments that have come through saying it could be hypertension, some sort of hypertension causing an issue, or lymph node drainage problem. So I think I'll wait for some more comments to come in and see what people think about that zebra with the very swollen legs. We'll have a bit of a quiet moment to enjoy the chaos here as looks like eland have also come down to the waterhole. I think it's going to get a little bit busy, so let's have a few quiet moments to listen to the zebra as they're very in their chaos mode of drinking, and maybe we can hear some more birds in the distance.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly here in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba and the two cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
The elemental apparently needs a gallinule and a lesser moorhen for your wild earth life list. Please, Kerry. So I've got a request from Mr. Elemental for a gallinule and a lesser moorhen. Mr. Elemental, I'll give that some thought, but unfortunately, with the locations that we currently have, the only moorhen that I've seen on my Live at the Waterhole list is that common moorhen. It'd be quite difficult to see a lesser moorhen. Oh gosh. Sorry folks, I think we had a little bit of disturbance with our camera there over in Oldonyo, but I will keep your request in mind, Mr. Elemental, of the birds that you need, gallinule and lesser moorhen. But I don't know if we are going to be lucky today, but we will definitely keep our eyes open. So we've got some weaver nests just on the right. I was talking about earlier crocodiles, how they're opportunistic hunters, and with these weaver nests hanging over the water here, if some chicks fell in the water, it definitely make a nice little snack for a young cropping. So as you can hear, it is very loud here at Jackie's Clan in the Southern Sands. Sounds kind of like Johannesburg last night. So the wind did roll in last night, very windy as well. I think we could have a Cape Starling calling just near the camera somewhere. I can't see him, but I can hear him. And those weavers, could be some masked weavers that have made their nest there, but I can't see any. But I can hear a three-banded plover. Here we go. Listening to the sounds of that little three-banded plover. I'll play it for you as well, just in case you missed it. Alrighty folks, well, it doesn't seem to be too much happening here at Jackie, so let's head across to Lentoria. Maybe we'll have some bird luck there. Ooh, hello Mr. Hummerkop. Oh, it's so delightful to see this Hummerkop here. Haven't seen these Hummerkops at Lentoria for quite a while. I know there's a pair that hang out here, and apparently they've got a big nest somewhere close to this waterhole. I think it's just off on the right-hand side of the hide. I can't remember if I've actually seen it, but I think one of our viewers told us that we have the big nest for the Hummerkop is quite close to this pan. Looks like this Hummerkop is giving himself a nice groom, nice clean, maybe preparing himself for a weekend of festivities. Remember we had the Hummerkop doing the pair of Hummerkop here at Lentoria doing a bit of a display dance for us the one day. It's very cool to watch these Hummerkops displaying. They jump on each other's back and make quite an interesting sound. Let's see if I've got this call for you. There we go, that is the call of the Hummerkop. Just keeping a lookout in this tree. Maybe if we're lucky there might be some more birds. Again at Lentoria, it's a very great place for all your little waxbills. So many little waxbills come down to drink at this waterhole. Often get squirrels. No, the leopard sightings at night here are awesome. And of course we cannot forget our troop of baboons. Oh, and we have some white-browed sparrowweaver nests, but there are no birds, so we cannot put it on our list. So Honda is asking a question about Hummerkops and their nests, which I will get to in a moment. But let's just have a look to see what waxbills we have here. I know some of the waxbills we get in Lentoria in Kenya, the African waxbill, but let's have a look. Which waxbills could these be? So to answer your question there, Honda, about the Hummerkop's nest. So Hummerkop is another term we used to refer to Hummerkop as someone who likes to collect a lot of things. So if someone calls you a Hummerkop, they know that you have harbored and hoarded a lot of things. So they build these giant nests all out of sticks. So lots of sticks, lots of grass, and they like to decorate their nests as well. So they'll often put lots of little, if they find plastic or any material, they'll try and decorate it from time to time. So I think we've got the red-billed firefinches here, and I'm trying to see which other, these red ones, so it could be the male firefinches. Which are these? Hello. So obviously with the firefinches, some of the females are often quite a lot lighter than the males. So if we have any experts that are up to scratch with their Kenyan birds, please feel free to send me through an ID here. I'm going to go with, could be either red-billed firefinch, or I do believe we do get the African firefinch here over in Lentore. How cool is this? Look at these little guys, how beautiful. So you see they come down to drink, these smaller birds will come down to drink, but first land in these thorn trees, just to protect them from any birds of prey, because sparrowhawks love to feed on tiny little birds like this. So, hello little guys. Yeah, I'm not getting a very clear picture here, so if any of our viewers want to send through, I'm going to guess one of my guesses, I'll guess, is a red-billed firefinch, little red-billed firefinch. But if we have any viewers that want to send through another guess on an ID on these little finches, here's the QR code on screen. Give me a hand with this bird identification. Not too familiar with my Kenyan birds, but yeah, if you have any birding experts, please send through your comments. African firefinch is another finch that I know does like to occur here. Maybe our little squirrel friend will also come and say hello to us today. I've had lots of really good baboon sightings at this waterhole. The baboons love to come down here, and huge big troops. Caracal was a good place for caracal, and serval. So I'm looking at some pictures, and definitely we have red-billed firefinch. I don't think we have had any African firefinches coming down. The African firefinches are much darker red in color, but definitely some red-billed firefinch. So let's, I'm going to play the call for you here of these little red-billed firefinches. There we go. So you see there's males and females there. I have some sort of sparrow here as well. What kind of sparrow is this guy? So you see the females very light in color. Males are often a lot prettier and more elaborate. And the African firefinch looks a lot darker, deeper red, and has a few little white spots on the side of his wings. Again, the sparrow looks like some sort of sparrow that was also down here. I know we get seed eaters that do frequent this pan as well. So a couple of seed eaters. So we got an update on our squirrel. I was just wondering where our squirrel friend was, and apparently Mr. Elemental sent a note on our squirrel. Kerry, the squirrel got murdered by a hawk or eagle. Oh, that is terrible news, Mr. Elemental. I'm so sorry about our little squirrel. I think I've seen 2 squirrels here before, so I'm sure there will be some more squirrels to take over, but yeah, very sad about our little squirrel friend. Thanks for the update on that one, Mr. Elemental. We have some Cape turtle doves or ring-necked doves. Come on, baboons, where are these baboons? And again, perfect place where the squirrels would come down. And as we mentioned earlier, that's why our waxbills often go into the thick, thorny brush before next to the pan before they actually go down to drink, because have a look at all this open area. A bird of prey or sparrowhawk or a lizard buzzard could be sitting up in these trees, and while animals are drinking, their senses are slightly compromised, and all that buzzard needs to do is swoop down and he's got himself a very easy meal. Oh, very cool to get three bird species here. So our hummerkop, our red-billed firefinch, quite a few little males and little females, as well as our ring-necked dove. We did get some sort of sparrow, but I'm not 100% sure on which sparrow this could be. That also came down here. Hello, little guy, aren't they cute? Have a quick look. Nice safe place for these little birds to come down to drink, where they're also safe from the hawks. Alrighty folks, let's head back across to Sorondela and see what birds we can find there. So we've our second go-away bird species of the day over in Oldonyo. We had the which go-away bird? We had the white-fronted go-away bird. So we had the white-bellied go-away bird over in Oldonyo, and this is the very famous grey go-away bird that we all know way too well. Amazes me how these go-away birds are able to sit on such thorny, uncomfortable little bushes, but they do love feeding on fruit. Seems like another windy day also here in Sorondela. These go-away birds are looking for a nice little morning feast and coming down for a bit of a drink. So normally they're in little flocks, anything between 2 to 6 individuals. I do love their cool little crest. Almost look like they've jowled their hair up, bit of a mohawk hairstyle going there. Very spunky. Have a look if there's any more birds just on the water's edge here.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a serviceman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on in this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
Because we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Acacia tree just off to the right of this pan. You often see those squirrels coming in and out of that tree. Quite a few good little hidey holes, especially if there's birds of prey or predators around. Nice place for these squirrels to go and hide in, and maybe sleep and seek refuge at night. There we go. Baboons also love this tree. Oh my goodness, those baboons, they spend a lot of time playing, climbing up and down the tree, at the base of the tree, getting up to all kinds of nonsense. Looks like we've still got our red-billed firefinch. I'm desperate to see our African firefinch, which I think is a lot brighter, a lot more red than the red-billed firefinch. So have a look at this little firefinch here. So yeah, the red African firefinch also seems to have a bit more of a blue bill, and as I mentioned, the spots, it's got little white spots just below the wing coverts there, whereas the red-billed firefinch is just kind of splotchy red underneath, red bill, not a blue bill, and lacking those little white spots. So in bird identification, all these little features and factors can really help us to differentiate different bird species, as well as habitat, what the habitat the bird is found in, distribution, and vocalization. So the calls of these birds can also help us to differentiate what kind of bird it is. Oh, have a look at this blue. What is this guy? Isn't he beautiful? Could be a waxbill of some sort as well, or a little cordon bleu, which our hammerkop friend has just decided to chase away. That was very rude. We just saw a new little bird and our hammerkop came and chased him away. So we have a question here from Holland. So Holland is asking, are squirrels terrestrial? So Holland, squirrels do spend most of their time up in trees, but they will come down to the ground to move from one tree to another. And also to find food. So obviously squirrels feed on seeds and nuts, so they do come down and spend a lot of time on the ground foraging for seeds and food, and then go up into the trees again. But they're most safe when they're up in trees, squirrels, unless they can find little holes and burrows if they are being chased by a predator. Yeah, shucks, everything out there will try to catch a little squirrel. Very much a priority meal, or high up on the menu of many predators. We were mentioning some of the predators that reside or come to this pan. So anything like a serval or a caracal, would be very interested in hunting a little squirrel. So folks, if you can see this little bird here, please help me with an ID. I think it could be one of the little cordon bleus. I don't think they get blue waxbills in Kenya, so I'm gonna guess it might be a little cordon bleu. What is this bird here? And I think I'm dying to see if we can also find a little African waxbill, not just the red-billed waxbills. I hope our hummerkop doesn't come and scare our little birdies away again. Yeah, so far all these waxbills are still red-billed. Alrighty folks, why don't we head across to Serendella and see if what has come to visit. Wow, looks like we've got an elephant that's just come down. He's super close to the camera. This camera is very well positioned that it catches these elephants right as they walk past. You can just see their backs. So cool to see an elephant's skin up close and personal. Could just be a solitary elephant bull on his own. He's quite a youngster. Maybe somewhere around 20 to 27, 28 years. Coming down for a nice midday drink. So I got a confirmation from Catherine. Thank you, Catherine, from one of our birds over in Kenya. Is the blue-capped cordon bleu. It's a very pretty blue bird with a red bill that I was struggling to identify. So thank you so much for that ID there, Catherine. Another bird to add to our list. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled. Oh, Grey, go away, bird calling there. Looks like quite a nice overcast day here over in Sorendella, just like some parts of South Africa. Very chilly day. So yeah, awesome to see that. Thank you for the lovely weather. It is nice to take a bit of a break from the cold weather, but no, the warm weather, but yeah, this cold weather is a bit chilly, I must say. I'm dying to see some sunshine. You can hear the wind blowing away. So we have a question or comment from Peter Jordan. So Peter says, hi Kerry, yesterday some starlings that had looked like yellow/orange chests with white spots under the tail. I cannot find them in neither Newman's or Roberts. Can you help? So Peter Jordan is asking about a bird. All right. Alrighty folks, why don't we go and head across to our black eagles and see what they're up to. Oh my goodness, so this is an epic bird to add to our list for the day. So we have our black eagles here, or Verreaux's eagles in Rhodocans, and our little eagle, or chicklet, is growing so quickly. Look how those feathers have changed. So a few weeks ago it was almost completely fluffy white. Now he's starting to get some brown color on the feathers there, and nice to see one of the adults on the nest here. Imagine being in this nest. Imagine that's where you grow up. That's quite an incredible view, I must say. I don't think the birds appreciate it just as much as we do, but yeah, what an awesome sighting that we have here. Lovely to be able to watch this family of black eagles up close and personal. So Peter Jordan, about your comment on the starling, I have no idea what kind of starling you might have seen, but I will definitely have a look after the show, see if I can find your mystery starling for you. Riley has sent through a comment. Yes, Riley, this is so beautiful to see. So, as I'm sure all of you already know, black eagle's diet is primarily little hyraxes, the rock dussies. Unfortunately, so I have had a few live at the waterhole shows where we watched this parent feeding her chick little pieces of black of hyrax.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Some of you out there are brilliant at identifying hyenas.
Now, why do you think people have got this huge misunderstanding about reptiles?
Right in front of me there was the face of an astounded buffalo bull.
This is live and interactive, so everybody, if you have any questions and comments, please do send them through and let us know what you would like.
They will use the same nest for 3 to 4, maybe even 5 years in a row, and they'll hang around and hunt in the same area so that if their chick is in distress or anything happens, they can very quickly retreat to the nest to protect their little one. And predators for these birds would obviously be snakes, so pythons will eat the eggs or the chicks, and actually leopards, funny enough. I know leopards can be predators for these big birds, and baboons are a bit of a nightmare with these black eagles. There's a nesting colony also in Victoria Falls area. Actually, I think there used to be 5 nesting pairs. I think we're down to maybe 2 or 3 nesting pairs that reside in the gorge, so perfect places on the cliffs in the gorge of the Victoria Falls for them to nest. But the baboons are their biggest problem in Victoria Falls. They can monitor and protect their nests like this. It's always a very special initiative in order to protect these large endangered birds. Dark Mane Lover, I'm also in awe with you at the moment. So Dark Mane Lover said, wow, that chick is much bigger and too precious. Yes, this chick is very, very cute, and it is growing so quickly at such a rapid rate. Do love the yellow contrast of black and yellow on these adults. Takes quite a while for these chicks to mature, so some birds of prey can take between 5 to 7 years for them to fully mature. Oh, see, the chick is strengthening. It's kind of like stretching out its wing there. Oh, it's actually stretching out its leg. I don't think this chick is all that hungry. So melanistic marble, yes, have a look at the size of those feet of the adult black eagle here. Again, those nasty talons are used in hunting So when they swoop into their prey, they use the sheer force and also those very sharp talons of theirs to kill and bring down their prey. The lifespan of these birds, so such magnificent birds like this do have quite a long lifespan, anything between 20 to 25 years, but in captivity or in protected areas they can live for up to 30 years depending on their food source as well as territorial home ranges, as long as there's not too many other individuals in the area. They are very loyal, these black eagle, to their partners. So black eagle mate for life, and they do, as I mentioned, often return to the same place or the same cliffs for nesting year after year. This little chick is obviously getting its morning yoga in, stretching its leg out like that. These black eagles will soar over these cliffs and escarpments. They do also use thermals in order to glide into different areas over quite a far distance. And often you can see that white V mark, the kind of white V on their back, helps you to identify these big birds of prey. They do have quite a wide wingspan, these birds. Their wingspan is between 2 to 2.3 meters, or about 6 to 7 feet, making them one of the largest African eagles. It's incredible, such a large wingspan. So we're watching lunchtime is taking place. This little chick has finally decided it's hungry now and it wants something to eat. So we have a question here from Deb D is asking, I'd love to know how far it is, how far the nest is from the ground. So Deb D, I'm not 100% sure on this particular nest, but these black eagles are very well known for building their nests in very high cliffs. So anything between 30 to over 200 meters above the ground level. So they can build their nests in very steep and dangerous areas, which helps to protect their chick from predators. Alrighty folks, why don't we go and check out one of our other locations and see what's happening out there today. So we're back here at Sorondella over in Thornybush, and I was wondering if that bachelor bull was on his own or if he was part of an elephant breeding herd, and yeah, maybe he brought his friends with him. So the elephants are all coming down for a nice midday drink, which seems to be quite common at this waterhole around this time. All the elephants moving through, coming down for a drink after a long day of feeding. So Sandy Franklin 69 is asking a question about how did one get that camera up there to the black eagle or Verreaux's eagle nest. So Sandy Franklin, we did have a viewer watching the show with us the one day that actually was a part of the team that obviously they used lots of ropes, professional rock climbing experts, human rock dussies if you say, and they actually used the ropes to get down there and to set up that camera. So what needs to happen is when you're setting up a camera like that, I mean, for me, you don't want to disturb these birds when they are already nesting. So you need to set up that camera during the off season when they are not nesting, so you don't disturb the nest at all, because then the parents are not on the nest too much. And then once they're nesting, the camera's already set up, because when those birds are nesting, the last thing you want to do is disturb them in any way. So you need to make sure that camera's checked regularly and not too much disturbance during the nesting season. So we have a question from Nello. So Nello is asking us, do we have a vulturine guinea fowl in South Africa? So Nello, no, we do not have vulturine guinea fowl in South Africa. Well, I do know some breeders, so some people who collect exotic birds, which, might not always be the wisest thing, but no, we don't have vulturine guinea fowl naturally occurring in South Africa, but I do know some breeders that keep exotic birds in Zimbabwe and South Africa that do have them, but generally these vulturine guinea fowl, they are found in East Africa, so not in Southern Africa. So the countries you can find them in East Africa is Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Somalia, and also a little bit into northern Uganda. So these birds do prefer dry savannas, open bushes, and scrubland. Oop, I think I just saw a starling. Could be a Cape glossy starling. Just saw flying in the background there. I thought it was a drongo, but then it definitely have quite a long tail. So I hope that answers your question there, Nello, about the vulturine guinea fowl. So no, they don't naturally occur in Southern Africa, mostly in East Africa. So lovely watching this family of elephants having their midday drink. Just have a bit of a quiet moment as we listen to these elephants drinking. And of course, look out for some birds. Not seeing any youngsters here. Yesterday we were quite lucky there. Oh, not yesterday, sorry. A few days ago we were quite lucky. There was a breeding herd that came through with quite a few little, very small elephant calves with them. So we have some info coming through from Eagle Lover about our black eagle or Verreaux's eagles over in Salati. So apparently this chick is 50 days old so far. The parents' names are Makatsa and sorry, excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, Mahlori. Apparently the juveniles are no longer named before fledging, so we have to wait until after fledging of those black eagles in order for them to get their names. But thank you so much for that, Black Eagle. I have saved this under my notes for the names of these black eagles. Incredible birds of prey, such well-designed hunters. If I was a small monkey or a hyrax, I think I'd be very afraid of those black eagles. Did have a bird just off to the left, but I think it was our little Cape glossy starling coming down for a drink. Yeah, it's still rather windy. So we have a question coming in from Quinn. So Quinn is asking about these elephants. Is the trunk of the elephant, or is the trunk the tip of the nose or an extension of the lip? So Quinn, to answer your question there, an elephant's trunk is actually a fusion of the upper lip and the nose that over many years has evolved into a very long, muscular and super flexible appendage almost. So it's this very, very long nose. So the nostril of an elephant does run through the trunk so that they can breathe and smell through this trunk of theirs. A very dexterous tool that they have, and they can actually pick up very small items on the ground. So if you have a look at this elephant, like on the right here, you can see the tip of his trunk is very well adapted and designed for picking up very small pieces of maybe while they're feeding. I've seen them picking up small sticks from the ground, small pieces of vegetation. So yeah, it's incredible, and they have a lot of muscles in their trunk, up to 40,000 muscles in this elephant's trunk, and it doesn't have a single bone, so just muscle. And they use that muscle in order to help them while feeding. Alrighty folks, let's head across to Founder's Lodge and see what birds we can find. Alrighty folks, so coming in at bird number 21, we have a Hadida ibis. They're quite mischievous birds, I must say. Have a look at that bill of theirs. So their beak is very long, and it's specially designed for probing into the mud and soil. So, yeah. I must say, Hadida, that sound of a Hadida is not my most favorite sound. It used to always remind me of, as a kid, of Durban and the beach and beach holidays, but now you find them everywhere. Yeah, literally everywhere, like Indian miners and crows. You can see them in the city. I think we've got some around my complex here. They come and forage around the garden. I actually saw a cat and a Hadida yesterday. They were just sitting next to each other. I thought the cat might try to attack the Hadida, but this Hadida was just doing his thing, not fazed about the cat at all. So they have become quite a residential bird in terms of living in residential areas and cities. So they have urbanized themselves quite a lot, these Hadidas. Some might say it's the bird national anthem of South Africa, which I very much disagree. They do look quite pretty during the breeding season though. You can see where on his wing coverts there, where you can see a bit of bluish green gloss. Often they can even have purple colors during breeding season, maybe even a bit of red on their beaks. I feel like there's another bird.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Pests like crickets and worms. So see, every creature, even if they have the most annoying sound, does play quite a crucial role in the ecosystem. So Kelsey is asking a question: what is the point in a bird like this hardy-daw, I'm guessing, having such a loud call? Kelsey, I don't actually know, and the sound to me is so irritating, I can't come up with a very good conclusion. Some of my guiding mentors, they just tell me the reason the hardy-daw has this unusual sound is because at some stage it was a flightless bird and they are actually petrified of flying. So every time they take off, because you often hear them making this loud vocalization when they're disturbed from an area, as they're taking off into the air, they make this sound, and it's because they're very scared of flying, so they're actually shouting and giving a bit of like a fearful grunt as they take off. And for me, that's the only reasonable explanation I can have for these hardy-daws having probably one of the most annoying sounds of all birds. They definitely are giving themselves a good groom, just like our hammerkop earlier was grooming himself very well over in Lentori. I think all the birds are getting ready for a nice weekend. Maybe there's a bird party or a bird ball somewhere that we do not know about. So Trudy is asking a question: how does a flightless bird suddenly learn to fly? So Trudy, it's not really possible for birds to just kind of instantly be able to fly. So many birds that have evolved to either being able to fly or, as I would say, devolved and not being able to fly, like ostriches, it's many, many years and decades of evolution that has taken place for birds to be able to fly or not be able to fly. So it's not just something that happens very rapidly over a short space of time, and some of these adaptations might have taken place due to habitat, maybe the habitat changing, different food sources, hunting methods, and this is all some reasons that birds would end up not flying or flying. They're very affectionate, these hardy-daws, aren't they? So Moses is asking a question of, do hardy-daws mate for life? So Moses, yes, hardy-daws do generally form long-term monogamous pairs, but they are believed to mate for life. But if one pair or one member dies, they'll probably replace that individual after a few years. But yeah, once a pair bond forms, they generally return to the same nesting area each season after kind of reuse and rebuilding their little nests that are made out of sticks in the same tree. So it does form. Oh yes, folks, we do have our ducks. Look, we have some shell ducks here coming in at number 22 on our list for the day. I thought I heard some ducks close by. I thought it might just be Egyptian geese, but we do have shelled ducks to put on our list for the day, which I'm very excited about. The only other bird we could possibly see here is our little Cape wagtail, and a secretary bird I think would be pretty cool. I forgot about Founders Lodge. Founders Lodge is probably a great place in the Eastern Cape. Nice open grassy savannas to have a secretary bird coming down. So we will keep our fingers crossed. So these shell ducks do resemble Egyptian geese. I know they can be quite closely They do have quite a close resemblance, but definitely that color of the head. So the female is on the right, she has a white head. Male is on the left, he has a gray head. Let me find the call here. It's also quite an interesting hooting call that these ducks have. I do love these shell ducks. I only actually saw them for the first time last year. Oh, there we go. And it looks like quite interesting weather here at Founders. Looks like a storm is brewing in the Eastern Cape. So I have a comment coming through from Deb D. Very nice. Yes, Deb, I'm quite excited. That one gave me goosebumps. Very excited to put these shell ducks on our birding list for the day. A bit more information about these shelled ducks. So obviously they do prefer open watered bodies, pans and shallow lakes, so very similar habitat to that of the Egyptian geese. That's why they can be confused, because they do like to hang out in the same areas. They're usually seen in pairs or occasionally small family groups. They generally like to stay away from humans, unlike Egyptian geese. So Egyptian geese, just like hardy-daws, you can find them urbanizing themselves, and they do like to live close to people, whereas these shell ducks really do prefer more remote wilderness areas. I feel like this female shell duck is having a bit of a Lion King moment on top of the rock here. So Bill, I'm glad that I could give you a bit of a giggle with regard to the hardy-daw. Some things in nature are just absolutely unexplainable, and I cannot understand why anyone would make anything make such a terrible sound as the hardy-daw makes. So you always got a bit of, got a crow there. Looks like a pied crow that's also joined us. So yeah, Bill, if any of our viewers can come up with another explanation as to why a hardy-daw has such an unusual sound, I would love to hear your comments. But for now, my only good explanation is that they're actually not very good at flying, so every time they get frightened, they wail in distress of the thought of having to fly. Wildlife lady, these ducks are very pretty ducks. It is lovely to see them. Ooh. So we had our pied crow that flew over earlier, and I also heard some blacksmith lapwings coming in. Oh, here we go. Hello, little guy. So blacksmith lapwing is coming in at bird number 24. So we're doing pretty well on our bird list today, I must say. I think my record on Live at the Waterhole is just over 30. I think 33 birds, 32 or 33. So looking forward to breaking that record one day. We're doing pretty well so far at 24 birds. Something else vocalizing in the distance, but I'm struggling to figure out what it could be. Oop! Maybe it's our blacksmith lapwing. I think I can hear our Cape wagtail. So we did get the pied wagtail over in Aldonio at the beginning of the show, and I can hear our little Cape wagtail also making a very cute little sound. Whoa, that blacksmith lapwing either is very distressed about something or needs to get his vocal cords checked. So we have a comment from Sarah, who is a hardy-daw lover. Sarah says we have our hardy-daws here in Pretoria, and they are the best. Sarah, I will send you all the hardy-daws. You can take all of them. I'm glad that you love hardy-daws. I know some people that really enjoy hardy-daws, but yeah, they're definitely not my favorite bird. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, It's interesting how you get people that love, there's always someone that loves something. So yeah, I will say those hardy dogs are quite beautiful during the breeding season. The sacred ibises are also very pretty during the breeding season, with the black and white, as well as that very interesting red veined color underneath their wings. You do get the southern bald ibis, which is also a very pretty ibis. Sorry folks, we must have just had some trouble with our camera. We've just linked across to Camelthorne in Botswana, where we were watching some clips yesterday of some elephants that were chasing some zebra here a couple of days ago. I don't know what's going on with the elephant and the zebra world, but there seems to be a lot of unrest with some elephant bulls the other day. Very very irritated and frustrated, busy chasing all of the zebra. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Only seeing some wildebeest. Lots of very well used pathways, all the animals as they're migrating through in Botswana. I know the migration is happening at the moment in East Africa, and lots of animals in Botswana are also collecting and forming these very large migratory herds, all moving through. Lots of zebra, lots of wildebeest.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. This is action-packed.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips, as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Kind of lost count at some stage, but if anyone else wants to give it a go and try to count these hippos, please feel free. It seems like we've got quite a light skinned hippo in the middle there. It's got lots of pink color underneath its belly. This elephant's also coming down for a nice afternoon drink, and quite interesting to see that behavior and interaction between this elephant bull pushing the hippo out the way so he can come down for a drink. and vegetation for an abundance of waterfowl, like your moorhens and your crakes, your jacanas. They kind of need to have quite a bit of vegetation at the water. Oh, I can hear an Egyptian goose. We have a blacksmith lapwing, which fortunately is already on our list, but a cool one to get from this location would be the fish eagle. There's a pair of fish eagle that do live at this pan, so that would be cool to put a fish eagle on our list, another big bird of prey for the day. We were watching some very interesting interactions. So earlier this week there was quite an unusual video from this exact location of a hippo that lay on a crocodile's tail. It was at night. Obviously the hippos and crocodiles were very comfortable with one another. A hippo came and joined its buddy and lay right on top of a crocodile's tail, which was quite an unusual sight to see, I must say. Couldn't figure out why this crocodile didn't move and why the hippo decided he needed to lie on the tail of a crocodile. So very cool and very interesting that we have the opportunity to watch these cameras 24/7, and lots of unusual animal behavior that we get to see and witness on these shows. So such a privilege to be able to be here with you all and to share these amazing experiences of animals and the wildlife just being wild. So Joanne Mello has sent through her guess for the question I asked earlier as to how many hippos do you all think are lying there. So Joanne Mello says she would guess maybe 25 hippo. I think I easily counted 30 before I lost track of the hippos. So that is Joanne's Mello's guess is 25 hippos. I was going to guess 40, but if there's any of our other viewers that managed to get a more reliable count, please feel free to send through the number of hippos that you think were all having a nice sand bath there in the sun. This wildebeest looks a bit lost. I must say, these blue wildebeest do tend to always have a very lost look on their face. They've got quite, it's no surprise they are one of the ugly five. Shame. I know they are quite pretty antelope, but yeah, they've got quite far apart eyes from one another, little beady eyes that are set at kind of very narrow edges of their face there, so sometimes it can be difficult to see where their eyes are, and a very thick, almost carpety, fluffy patch of fur down their forelock, which also gives them a very unusual look about them. Quite interesting to see so many hippos. So Camelthorne, I would easily say, is one of the locations where we see the most hippos, and to see them out just lying in the sand, makes me jealous. I wish I could be lying in the sun like a hippo right now. Instead we're inside cold. Have a look at this hippo. We've seen him before. He's got a very nasty gash in his bottom. Could have been in a fight with another bull. Unfortunately hippos do get into fights quite often, and especially if you have such a high number of hippos in a small area. As the water levels dwindle, there's less habitat, less space for these hippos, so fights breaking out is quite common amongst these giants. And it is winter, so it is common to see hippos out of the water in winter, but I think it's a lot more common than what people think. You can find hippos out of the water even in summer months. They just won't spend too much time out in the sun because they don't want to expose their skin to being damaged by the sun. Hello, good boy. Quite a nice big specimen of an elephant bull. You can see his left tusk has gotten quite a bit of damage. It's chipped off in places, again probably from feeding or fighting. It is Their tusks are prone to breaking off, especially in drier areas where minerals aren't that easily accessible. So I have a question here from Trudy. Trudy is asking, can an area be overgrazed by hippos? So yes, Trudy, an area can definitely be overgrazed by hippos. I wouldn't be surprised if this area is also overgrazed, but I wouldn't say it's only by hippos in this area, as we've seen huge herds of wildebeest and zebra do move through these areas. So it's probably overgrazing from many different species. Alrighty folks, why don't we head across to Tembe and see what other birds we can tick off our list. Ooh, looks like we have a grey heron that is hunting in the reeds here, coming in at bird number 26. Very excited to get some more birds on our list. Oop, an African jacana. Oh, a white woolly neck stork. 3 birds already to add to our list. Sorry folks. Sorry folks, I think we had some difficulties with our feed there at Tembe, but even though we were only there for a short time, we got 3 more birds for our list, which I am super excited about. So we have the grey heron, we have woolly neck stork, African jacana, and alright folks, why don't we head across to Founders Lodge and see what is waiting at the waterhole. Got a little blessbox that has arrived at the waterhole here at Founders Lodge. Lovely to see different species. I feel like blessbok are quite common here in the Eastern Cape, but you don't often see them. So very cool to actually see these blessbok coming down for a drink. It's quite a light individual. There are a smaller antelope species that are common across southern Africa. Their horns do resemble these kind of enlarged gazelle horns. Have a look at those horns there. Got a bit of a shorter tail with a black tip down the tail. They are ancestors of the topi. These blessboks ancestor is known as the topi. So these blessbok do formerly, or used to formerly, inhabit the plateau grasslands known as the Highveld, but this is the kind of the watershed area. Probably give it a very washed look to his coat, this blessbok. What's happening with his coat there? Oh, here are our Egyptian geese. Hello. Guess our shelled ducks have disappeared, but our Egyptian geese are also here, giving themselves a good clean. So birds need to make sure that they maintain their feathers very well. If birds' feathers are not maintained well, then they could start to get like a lice, or damage could be caused to their feathers. There's like a feather lice that attacks their feathers, and without healthy feathers it really inhibits birds' ability to fly. So they need to take very good care of those feathers so that they can still fly and get airborne, especially when trying to get away from predators. Oh, our blessbok is back. So these blessbok did formerly tend to migrate between seasonal pastures. They would form huge mixed herds in the autumns and winters, and that's when they would move. But now in these smaller reserves they form smaller local movements. They'll move in areas during different seasons of the year in order to get enough food. So they are kind of semi-nomadic herds which are formed now in smaller private reserves. Oh, listen to our Egyptian geese. I haven't seen our rhinos for a couple of days. They haven't been down. Normally we've got our few rhinos that might grace us with their presence. Lovely to see some more water in this pan here. Could be another pied crow flying over just off to the right. I think it's too cold today for the warthog and rhinos to come for a mud wallow. I don't think I would like to be in the mud today. Alright, we've got some more. Oh, looks like we've got some house sparrows here. And what crow is this? Unusual crow. So we had the pied crow earlier. I definitely saw black and white. But this crow is just black, so it could be the Cape crow. Yeah, have a look here. So Cape crow does occur in this area. It's all black with an unusually slender bill, found in a wide variety of open country habitats, which also includes desert regions. So I've seen these crows in Namibia as well. So they roam around in the open sandy areas trying to feed on any little pieces of insects or food they might be able to find. And then I think we had could be the house sparrows or Cape sparrows. I'm going to go with Cape sparrows because we are on the Cape. So we've got our Cape sparrows and a Cape crow. So I know crows are seen to be as scavengers, but they do also hunt themselves. So that slim bill of theirs does help them to be able to feed. It's quite a sharp and solid bill, so it can help them while hunting. I've got a call here of these Cape crows. So if you've ever been over to Etosha, I'm sure that's a very common sound. I remember over in Etosha in Nguma, you also hear these Cape crows calling quite a lot. There's a very high amount of these crows. There we go, our crow's calling for us. Just listening to our Cape crow calling quickly. So we have a question here from Jean Grove. He's saying, good afternoon, I have a quick question. How many blesbok are there in total, and do they come in different colors? So Jean Grove, I'm not sure if you're meaning how many different blesbok species or what is the total population. So the total population of blesbok in southern Africa is anywhere between 200 to 300,000 in total. That's blesbok. So their populations are stable. They're not an endangered species. They're found, as I mentioned, mostly in South Africa, especially in grassland areas, but they do have a cousin, the bontebok. So there's technically one species, but it's divided into two subspecies, the blesbok and the bontebok. Obviously this is, they do look very similar. The bontebok is naturally only found in the Western Cape and fynbos areas. Bontebok is usually darker purplish brown coat with a continuous white blaze and white socks on all legs, whereas the blesbok is a common one. You can see it in open grasslands across South Africa. Blesbok has a reddish brown coat as opposed to a darkish purple, and blesbok has a white blaze on the face and a white rump. Lovely to see our little Cape crow coming down for a drink. I know crows are very intelligent creatures. They can mimic many different calls. And I know lots of people do keep them as pets. My grandfather had a few crows as pets, and I think growing up we also saved a few crows that had been abandoned, but they don't make very nice pets. I'll definitely say that. They're quite aggressive creatures.
Now this leopard that we're looking at is known by the name of Hlalamba.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have. We are here with a male leopard.
Have some home ranges that overlap, but not always. The Cape Starling is, to me, just more of a stockier bird, so it's a lot stockier and glossy in color, whereas the glossy starling is more long and slender. Cape Starlings can often be very confident and do spend a lot of time around people, whereas your glossy starlings are normally quite shy and have a bit more of a subtle plumage. Hope that answers your question there, Susie, about Cape Starling and glossy starling. Look at these little baboons. If only you could think about what goes on in the mind of a little baboon. I think it would be constantly ticking with naughty thoughts of all the mischief and mayhem you can cause. So Lucy, thank you for joining us today, Lucy. Lucy's sending her comments saying thanks for having you on board, Kerry. It is a pleasure to be with you today, Lucy. Thank you for joining us. We'll ask our Zoomy if we can have a scan for any birds that might be at this waterhole. So the baboons do roost in trees quite near this waterhole, so I spend a lot of time in this area. Wangi Safari Lodge is in one of my operating areas where I've done a lot of horseback safaris and close to where the stables that I ride from is based. And so I know this waterhole quite often. Most of our rides we come out into the Vlei, so this area is known as the Det Vlei. just in front of Wangi Safari Lodge and where this pan is located. The Dead Flay is one of the areas in Zimbabwe with one of the coldest temperatures ever recorded in Zimbabwe. I think it was minus 14 or minus 15 degrees, so it gets very, very cold in this flay. But this pan, this waterhole, is very famously known for massive elephant herds and buffalo herds coming down to drink. Lots of lions also move through this area, so it's kind of on the periphery of Wangi National Park, just outside of the park. Lots of lions come through following the buffalo herds, and of course it is a very safe place for the wild dogs, so often the wild dogs come through this area. I've once on horse... Oh, these baboons are not happy. I've once on horseback safari seen my first wild dog kill on horseback. Was not too far from this pan, and 16 wild dogs killed and completely ate a poor young kudu in less than 25 minutes. Everything was gone, and then the marabou storks all came in and fought over the leftovers, so it was quite chaos, and we managed to watch it from horseback, so incredible sighting on that day. So we have a comment here from Robin McLean, is asking, is this the same place where the baboon had the pillow? Robin, I would not be surprised. So I know Safari Lodge and the camp that I stay at is called Inganyana, which is right next to this main lodge, and the baboons often steal things from the lodges there. They've stolen pillows, they've stolen anything, pillows, towels from the sun lounges. Oh, they love to steal that coffee tin. So they'll come into the camp as you're having your afternoon coffee and come and steal the coffee tin or the sugar. They love that sugar bowl. A few times I've been in the camp. Tea time is 3 o'clock is always tea time. Sitting there, and this baboon walks straight into the main lodge area, grabbed 2 muffins, shoved them into its mouth, grabbed 2 more muffins, and as I ran up to it to try and chase it away, it actually came towards me. So they're quite aggressive. They're not afraid of women, especially. I think that was a marabou stork, folks, that just flew over. So yeah, these baboons are a little bit naughty. Every now and then when we go out on our rides, we find the sugar bowl that's been stolen, or a muffin tray that was picked up, or a piece of something that the baboons have stolen from the camp. So yeah, the baboon population in this area are booming, very healthy. As you can see, they are thriving off of that afternoon tea platters and the buffet whenever they get their hands into that buffet. Quite naughty little creatures. So Darkmane Lover says, I love baboons only if they can speak the human language. I wonder what they would say to humans. Oh, Darkmane Lover, I don't think I would want to know what goes on in a baboon's mind, but they're definitely very similar to us humans, I must say. They've got a very mischievous mannerism about them, baboons. They're very cunning little creatures. Alrighty folks, let's head across to Serendella and see what is waiting for us. Alrighty, so we have some buffalo that have just arrived here at Serendella, and we've got our starling. So that looks like a glossy starling to me. It's got a very long tail. It could be a Meave starling. I'll just have to check the distribution here, but it's definitely not a Cape glossy starling. What starling could this be? But we do have an ox picker that is sitting on the back of this buffalo. I think it's most likely a red-billed ox picker. Very windy here at Serendella, so it could be, the new name is a slender-billed starling. It has a very long tail for sure. We saw these buffalo bull in the week, so it seems to be quite a regular spot for these buffalo bulls to come down and have a drink. So Ben is asking, will buffalo ever visit a waterhole if there are elephants there at the same time? So Ben, this waterhole is quite a big waterhole, so even if there are elephants already at the pan, the buffalo will just move off and find a different place to drink. I've seen buffalo herds pushing elephants away from the waterhole, so just as we mentioned, there's been a bit of a tension between the zebra and the elephants.
Join me for a magical safari to India, a wildly exotic land of tigers, temples and Kipling. To start, we'll head to Pench and then to Doba to look for the famed Bengal tiger, as well as deer in the dappled forests, sloth bears and countless birds. We'll stay in stunning eco-lodges that blend luxury with a light footprint. Our Indian adventure culminates in Agra with a sunrise visit to the Taj Mahal.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. You'll gain access to the channel ad-free. You can rewind and rewatch sightings and gain access to our live Tuesday safaris. There's also behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and every safari live episode, whenever it suits you. It's just the best way to connect with nature.
Sure if it's quite worth it for them to have a mud path. So Darkman Lover, that is a very good description of buffalo. So buffalo do always look as if they are looking for their monies. They almost look like debt collectors, quite grumpy, not in the best of moods, and ready to pick a fight. I think that's a good description of a buffalo, a debt collector in a pretty foul mood. So Mr. Elemental has a new bird lifer. Meaves Starling does go on your list for birds. So well done, Mr. Elemental. It's good to get a bird lifer there. Again, I was a little bit unsure of the starling species that they get here in Sondela, but yeah, it's kind of my best guess would be the Meaves Starling, just because of the eye color, that long tail, the patchy, glossy colorations that it does have. We had a viewer earlier that was asking about starlings, mystery starling. If this mystery starling that you found was in Kenya, then it could have been a superb starling, as that superb starling does have a chestnut underbelly, a white kind of like a white ring on its breast, and then it does have that very typical blue glossy color. So that would be my guess if your mystery bird was in Kenya. Otherwise, another option is also the chestnut bellied starling. Oh, we've got another buffalo bull. It's quite a busy afternoon. 3 Duggar boys, or 3 big buffalo bulls all together. I would not want to be on a walk in the bush and accidentally bump into these bulls. Definitely a very, very windy afternoon. I don't blame these buffalo for not wanting to have a mud bath. So on a hot day, buffalo don't think twice about lying in the mud, coating their skin in mud, protecting it from the sun and insects. But on a cold day like today, there's not much chances that you'll get many animals wallowing or swimming like elephants. Elephants are not really prone to swimming on cold days, cold windy days like today. Just trying to check some of our locations for some last minute birds. Our list is sitting at 32 birds for the day, which I'm pretty chuffed with, but if we can tick off a few last birds before the end of the show, I will be very happy. I think I can see another little oxpecker there. There are 2 oxpeckers on the back of this buffalo. A bit of interaction. So there will be a hierarchy amongst these buffalo bulls. So generally, yeah, you can find solitary bulls on their own, but you can find groups of buffalo bulls, anything between 3, 5, 6, and 8. I don't think I've ever seen more than about 7 or 8 buffalo bulls together. Normally it's smaller numbers, and again, as I mentioned, they'll have their own hierarchical structure amongst that group. So if they don't obey by the structure, then they might get kicked out of the group and have to roam around by themselves, which for an older buffalo bull that might be compromised or have some injuries is not the best thing. Makes him more susceptible to predators like lions. There we go, here's our little red-billed oxpeckers. So red-billed oxpeckers are the more common oxpecker between the 2 species. Yellow-billed is quite rare to see. I know in Kruger National Park they do encourage you to report any sightings of these yellow-billed oxpeckers, and if possible get a photo. Oxpeckers are very susceptible to dipping, so in areas where there's been lots of cattle that have been dipped with uneco-friendly dip, it does very much affect the numbers of these oxpeckers. That's why your red-billed is more common. Yellow-billed is a very rare oxpecker species to see, but always keep your eyes open for those little yellow-billed oxpeckers when you're out there. Report any sightings, put them in your bird lasser, or at any of the gates, the national parks gates. There's often big posters up where you can send your sightings and your photos to of these very special little birds, same as the saddle-billed storks. Looks like this big buffalo bull on the left has given his tummy a bit of a rub. Alrighty folks, why don't we link across to Morwenna for the last few minutes of the show. Alrighty, so I don't know if we're going to get any birds here folks, but it is a lovely scene. Got 3 big elephant bulls coming to feed on, I think it's probably a mineral lick area, or maybe there's a little bit of water there. Lots of zebra vocalizing, wildebeest, lots of commotion. Yeah, looks like those elephants have found a little bit of a watering patch. Anyway, folks, we have got 32 birds for today, which I'm very excited with. Thank you for bearing with me and dealing with all the bird chitter-chatter. We've got a wildlife lady is sending a comment. Thanks, Kerry. Enjoyed today's live at the waterhole. Also thanks to FC and all the Zoomies for an incredible show today. I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. I'll see you next week live at the waterhole, probably from Wednesday to Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for the birding and incredible sightings. From me and the rest of the Wild Earth team, I just want to wish you a lovely Friday and have a fantastic weekend.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be discovering a real wildlife gems of South Africa. This is a virtual safari filled with beauty, wildlife and stories. We're going to be visiting unique and diverse reserves, spending time with famous animal characters and learning some real conservation stories. So remember, if any of the locations featured on Safari Spotlight interest you, our experts at Wild Earth Travel are standing by to make your dreams come true.